Welcome back. I am theundj, and this is Confessing Lies or Telling Stories. It's a channel about truth. I've been lied to my entire life, since I was a child. Before I leave this earth, I would like to know what it is, the purpose, the secrets, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let's find it together.
Keep saying 33. Take a listen.
And that was about, I think I had it. It was like 33 minutes before he was killed.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU in the afternoon. About a 33-hour manhunt ensued.
Bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us.
In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
Yeah, we get it. 33. Look, it is, in my educated opinion, the most obvious signaling ever, alerting those that are in the cult that this was a hit that was done by the cult and for the cult. Now, never mind that out of all of the Freemason lodges in the world, every Freemason lodge has a number associated with it. The one that is in St. George, Utah, which is where Tyler Robinson was brought in, is lodge number 33. Okay, 33 also being the country code for Paris. Now, Americans are not used to the discussion about Freemasonry, so this all felt very new, and I feel like people weren't really ready to have this conversation because we go to public school, we're told, like Paul Revere, they don't tell you that he was like a Rosicrucian Freemason, but he was like, the British are coming. He factually never actually said that either, but that's the reality. The founding fathers were all Freemasons working on international orders. I'm sorry if that doesn't sound like rah, 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 USA, but we have to wake up to this because you have to understand how this country came together and how things have been functioning since. You have to understand internationally what has been going on. And when we are speaking about 33rd degree Freemasons, we are not talking about your grandfather's Freemason group. Well, they got together, they did nice things, they did things for charity. No.
No is correct. I love my country. I love America. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we were built on goodness and virtue. No. We said we don't like your rules. Actually, we don't like rules at all. We want abundance. We want this. We want that. We want to be able to do whatever we want to do. And we built a land and went and got other races to help build the land. And not everything was fair. Not everything was cool. But this is the end product so far. And being a man of color, I just don't dwell on the history. I have an amazing life. I live in an amazing country. It has a very dark history. One that just wasn't fair to all. But it doesn't matter. We're here now. This is what it is. We find the truth. We find out the history. Unfortunately, the Freemasons blur the line. They're not going to let you in. Either you're in or you're out. And what they know probably is the truth. They've been here long enough to narrate the truth and know the truth. And they do not share the truth. I have family members that wear the ring. Don't ask, don't tell. And if you do ask, they still won't tell. It is what it is.
Michael is gone. Tupac is gone. Prince is gone. Whitney is gone. Amy Winehouse is gone. David Bowie is gone. But I'm still standing.
She seems to have forgotten a few. Jim Morrison isn't gone. Jimi Hendrix isn't gone. Kurt Cobain isn't gone. Bob Marley isn't gone. And currently, I'm on the hunt for Chris Cornell. A lot of people seem to think that he really is gone, and while I'm having a harder time finding him more than the others, well, something tells me he's around somewhere as well. And if you're coming across my page for the very first time, just go ahead and scroll down and you'll see all these videos like Nelson Mandela being Bob Marley, or David Blaine being Prince. But getting back to the beginning of this post, Madonna. I am working on quite an interesting theory on who Madonna's parents are. You ever notice how much she looks like Priscilla and how much she looks like Elvis? And hey, do you ever notice their resemblance? And I mean, look at those eyebrows. Those are definitely hereditary, coming from dear old dad. And hey, Baron and Elvis Aaron Presley. Something to it. There's something here, and I'm working on it. But of course, all this for entertainment purposes. I know that Madonna's mom isn't really Priscilla Presley, and her dad isn't really Elvis. And Baron's dad really isn't Elvis, who is really Donald, and his mom isn't really Diana, who's really Melania. All for entertainment purposes. But I mean, come on, people.
The bottom line is, do they have the technology? Probably. Do they have the ability? Most likely. I'm not going to sit here and hate on the whole thing, because if I could sit here and just keep coming back, switching sleeves, living lives, why wouldn't I? This makes perfect sense. If you can do this, then you do it. Now, the price to pay, I would like to know what that is, because some of these similarities are they're just too good. And we do know that no one wants to relinquish real power. They want to maintain it forever. You see what I'm saying?
Is this actual proof that time travel is already possible? In 2006, a man named Sergei Ponomarenko appeared out of nowhere. He claimed that while walking down a street, a flash of light transported him to this location. Obviously, the police thought he was crazy, but when they asked to see his ID, everything seemed to check out, except that the ID was issued from a country that no longer existed, the Soviet Union. When asked about where he really came from, he simply said, "It might be better to look at the photos from my camera." This is where things got weird, because the film on his camera once developed showed Sergei with a girl in front of buildings from the past that didn't exist anymore. Even though Sergei mysteriously vanished from his holding cell 4 days later, official records showed a Sergei Ponomarenko who was reported missing in the 1960s. And when the authorities tracked down the lady in the photo, who was now 70 years old, she simply said, "Sergei, I haven't seen him since 1958. So..."
Being that I know the video wasn't of any actual events, I did a quick deep dive. The gentleman is a real person, and he did go missing. That's pretty much all I could confirm. Nothing else. The unexplained is the unexplained for a reason. And we love to dismiss the unexplained with solutions that we've had to previous problems or situations that resemble this situation. So it must be this, or it's gotta be that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't gotta. It could be unexplained, or it could be something we've never seen before. Just keep your eyes open. Keep your minds open. That's all I ask.
We just found out that giants actually exist and they are living in Afghanistan. Take a listen to this pilot's account on actually seeing what they call the Kandahar giant and that he was eating the American soldiers. This is wild.
This is where it begins. He was a cargo pilot, and he would describe these missions as classified. And one day he's flying in there. They said, "This never happened. No pictures. Don't ever talk about it."
They never
He
went
sees
to.
a forklift bringing over an air cargo pallet, and there's something on it.
What? What's there?
And he said the first thing that hit him was the odor, like BO and death.
They don't smell nice.
The hair of this being was red. The skin was pale. He said it had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot.
Red-haired giant.
And he said this thing was solid as a rock. So you can imagine, let's say it was 12 feet tall. The whole thing weighed 1,100 pounds.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
12 feet tall. So allegedly, when they found this giant in a cave, he had already stolen and eaten some US soldiers, was already eating one in the process. They took him out, loaded him up, and then he disappeared forever. Nobody's able to talk about it. And there are hundreds of accounts of these beings in Afghanistan in the same context. But don't be fooled, it's not just there. We have reports of this all over the world. We've seen skeletons of these large creatures. So then that makes me wonder, are the giants in the Bible actually real? This video is all allegedly for entertainment purposes only, no facts.
I wish I lived in a world to where I could say, nah, this is not true. No, this cannot be. Unfortunately, I do not. I live in a world where this could be what we used to be. Make us shorter, make our lifespans shorter, make us weaker, make us less intelligent. That all increases control. But the one thing they can't dial back is the energy. So no matter how dumb you make us, our energy is still as strong as it needs to be for them to cipher it for whatever cynical reasons they want to do that for. I just like the fact that it seems like we're able to snap out of it. We're able to wake up. And we are, day by day, scene by scene, unexplained event by unexplained event.
What more proof do you need that my car runs on water?
Okay, everybody's asking the same thing all the time. Water spigot attached to my house. Directly into the tank. It has antifreeze in it because it's cold and I don't want the water to freeze or else it'll be an issue. That's the reason for the color. Top her off. Try and not spray the inside of the car too much. Drain. Return. Feed. The drain. Drains out antifreeze and water. No fuel rails attached to the car. This box, I'm not giving out free information, so this stays completely under wraps for now. The lines go back underneath the car like I've shown in my other videos. And the car runs. Fuel lines still disconnected.
This is probably the smartest, dumbest man I've ever seen in my life, because so far everyone who has introduced this, we don't see them anymore. They mysteriously just aren't there anymore. If you find a way to do this, hook up your friends if you want to, or just ride around and be happy. What you don't do is make a video trying to prove that you figured it out, especially when even I saw your reflection in the window. Not smart, dude. Be happy. Congrats. But shh. Okay? I wouldn't call it the most amazing UFO sighting, but it doesn't look like things that we know are supposed to fly in the sky. Doesn't seem to be moving, just hovering there. Unfortunately, all of this footage seems to be grainy. Now, they could have technology that distorts the phones, makes it to where it always looks like this. There's no telling. But I know for a fact, and I don't have the newest phone, that these phones are pretty clear. I can't say anything because I've seen things, and for some reason, the thought of my phone never even entered my mind, which leads me to believe they take that out of you so you don't think about it. I definitely know they can mess with your thoughts. But it really devastated me on how the most amazing moment in my life, when I saw something I've never seen in the sky, my phone was right there. And I never thought to grab it, didn't even know what a cell phone was in that moment. I was just stuck. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's why this is the only footage we can get. It makes sense why many celebrities wear not just shades, but oversized shades everywhere they go, indoors, outdoors, daytime, nighttime. And they made it a fad. They made it trendy. They made it cool. But if my eyes were doing that in public and I'm trying to keep a secret, then yes, we need $2,000 shades on my face to cover that up. It makes sense. And the glasses and shades industry is booming simply because of things like this. It's crazy.
2 prison guards assigned to watch Jeffrey Epstein made a series of highly suspicious moves in the days and minutes leading up to his passing. Correctional officer Tova Noel Googled the phrase "latest on Epstein in jail" twice on her work computer, less than 1 hour before Epstein was found unresponsive in his Manhattan cell. In later interviews, Noel claimed that she did not remember making these searches and even questioned whether the digital records were accurate. Her forensic logs tie those queries directly to the terminal used on her desk that morning. And this is where things get even stranger. Bank records referenced in the same document release shows that JP Morgan Chase flagged a pattern of cash deposits into Noel's account and filed a suspicious activity report to the FBI in late 2019. In total, she received roughly 12 unexplained cash deposits between 2018 and mid-2019, adding up to nearly $12,000, with the largest single cash deposit of $5,000 on July 30th, 2019, just 10 days before Epstein's passing, and just shortly after she started working in the special housing unit where he was being held. To this day, the source and purpose of that money has never been publicly explained, and the available records indicate that she was not pressed on those deposits during her sworn interview with federal investigators, which I find pretty strange. This is the same officer who, along with fellow guard Michael Thomas, was previously charged with falsifying prison logs from the night Epstein passed. Prosecutors alleged that instead of doing mandatory 30-minute rounds, the two stayed at their desk shopping online and browsing the internet while no one entered the tier for nearly 8 hours, even though the records they signed claimed that checks had been done at 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. For a roughly 2-hour window in the middle of the night, Both guards appear to have been asleep at their post on surveillance footage. Now, what's the chances of both guards being asleep with such a high-profile person behind bars? Now, surprisingly, those criminal charges were later dropped after they accepted deferred prosecution deals, performed community service, and agreed to cooperate with investigators. I'll let you decide yourself about how strange all of this sounds.
When everything came out with Epstein, I tried to get in there and figure out everything because just like everybody else, I was in awe that this kind of evil existed. I was going down rabbit holes, deep diving daily because there was always new information. But eventually I stopped. I realized that this particular scandal is encased in billions of dollars. Not millions, billions of dollars. Not just billions of dollars, but hundreds of people. Most of these people are influential. They're celebrities. They're powerful. When you have that much money, that much influence, and that much power surrounding a situation, you're not getting in. I stopped. So I don't even know if any of this is true. I'm pretty sure there are some of you out there who are experts. I would love to know. But I cannot go down this rabbit hole anymore because I don't have enough money, enough time, or enough power to break through anything that would be significant in revealing the truth. So why waste my energy?
Does anyone else find this a little weird or strange that all of the astronauts that apparently been to the moon are all Freemasons? Yeah, all of them. And we know exactly what lodge they go to, what rank they are. Like, did you guys know about this? Here we have James repping Tejon Lodge 104 out of Colorado Springs. Here we have Edgar, his rank, repping number 33. Lodge number 29 out of Artesia, New Mexico. Here we have Buzz Aldrin, rank, lodge number 144 out of New Jersey. Here we have our buddy Leroy, repping lodge number 82 out of Colorado. Also, were you guys aware that the moon rock they gave the Dutch Prime Minister in 1969 turned out to be fake? Petrified wood? It's time to wake up, guys. And of course, all this was for entertainment purposes only. Of course, none of this is real, and I'm just here to make you laugh.
Well, hee hee ha ha. Good job. We all know how this goes. They put their people in the positions of power. If there's going to be any exploring, it's going to be done by them, and their people are going to be put in charge. You cannot control the narrative unless you control the story. In order to control the story, you have to be part of it, not just a part of it. You have to be the key part of it. If there's going to be a moon landing, then they have to be the astronauts. Why? Because the astronauts are going to tell us the story. So it all makes sense. All you got to do is look for the positions that get to control the story, and there you will find them every single time in every significant situation. This better be AI. Like, it better be AI. I've already had to go buy a nightlight because of this channel ever since I started it. And now I got videos like this. I don't know what kind of heart of steel these kids have, but where's the screaming? Where's the mom? Where's the dad? None of that. They just playing and just watching it. This stuff is going to give me anxiety. I can see that right now. And I feel like I'm too old to have anxiety. They didn't have anxiety when I was coming up. Now they got it. And I'm about to get it.
Why do Hollywood stars always have problems with the same eye? The truth will completely turn your world upside down. Let's start with Selena Gomez. Whenever she speaks, her left eye twitches uncontrollably. The rose tattoo on the back of her neck has now mysteriously vanished. She used to walk with a brisk stride, but now her steps are as stiff as a robot's. There are rumors that she was swapped out during surgery. Her lips used to curve upward, but now they droop downward. The scariest part is the attitude of the people around her. The media used to be clamoring to interview her, but now she's been left out in the cold. Let's take a look at Ariana Grande. We all know her appearance has changed dramatically. She used to have a curvy figure and a healthy complexion, but 6 years ago she suddenly developed an extremely pale complexion. She even lost so much weight that her ribs were clearly visible. Strangely, she started walking like a 3-year-old. She was so frail that she needed someone to help her walk. Even her shoes had to be secured with strips of cloth. But nothing was more terrifying than Cynthia Erivo. She even went so far as to change her gender. Perhaps many celebrities aren't actually dead. They're still secretly alive using special methods. What do you think lies behind all these coincidences?
Darkness. Very easy. Darkness. I don't get it. These celebrities always come into the game looking way better than they do once they've been in it for a while. Once they've gotten the money and the power and the prestige, they don't look good anymore. I don't think they're purposely trying to make themselves look worse, which means something else is doing it against their will.
What they do, and they can do this during an abduction, during a near-death experience, all kinds of other things. Here's how they do it during an abduction. A man will be taken on board a ship during an abduction. His body will be put into a coma. They will slowly bring the body to death. At the moment it achieves death, the soul exits. Do you follow? When the soul exits, using technology, they will replace this soul with another and they will bring the body back. They can do this in 4 seconds using technology. He gets up, there's another soul in there. It looks like Batman, but it isn't Batman anymore. It's somebody else who has a completely different agenda. Now, if you're an ET, a negative ET, in order to manipulate third density, you have to be in third density. And this is how they're doing it. This is how they're doing it, along with, their craft and all the other things. But some choose to be in human form. The Orion, this is Orion technology.
Pretty soon, I guess they're going to have this on the market too. Because AI has been around for decades. We know this. It didn't just show up out of nowhere. They've been showing us AI in movies since the 80s. So this technology, yeah, it's here. All we've ever done is try to cheat death, fight aging. And we've done it very well. Which means whatever the final levels are, we don't get to see those. And most of us don't have enough money to afford it if we could have access to it. But they'll be done with it and they'll give it to us. And then we'll see what kind of world that creates when all of us can decide whether or not we want to stay or go.
that just doesn't make sense. Like, I just wasn't getting.
Sonny, why are you fucking a human, dude? Can you stop standing, please?
I'm probably getting ready to offend a few people and maybe even lose half my subscribers because, there's dog lovers. Dogs are by far, by a good margin, the number one animal that we invite into our homes, into our lives, into our most intimate moments. People undress in front of their dogs. They sleep with their dogs. They shower in front of their dogs. They use the bathroom in front of their dogs. And the dogs can follow them around, and wherever they go, they just sit on the floor and just watch them. Nobody says anything. As people, I challenge you to go out there and just do what a dog normally does for even 5 minutes of your day. And I promise you, you'll be arrested. We're not allowed to do any of this. So I don't have anything against dogs. I love dogs as long as there's two things in place. Number one, they're not mine. And number two, they're not in my home. After those two things are in place, man, I love dogs.
I showed a clip of her talking about the whole situation because if you guys are unaware, Beyonce's drummer of 5 years named Kimberly Thompson filed a restraining order on Beyonce for extreme witchcraft. Yeah, I know. Impossible. How could this be? What do you mean? Yeah, I know. For those who have been under a rock. So I showed a clip of Kimberly Thompson talking about Beyonce. And on that video, for those who have seen it, I don't know if you guys remember, I said, if you know where the whole video is, show me. Or put a link in the comments. Or tell me. Ladies and gentlemen, we got more footage. We got more talking of Kimberly Thompson. A couple more minutes of her talking. I'm sure it's more of the interview out there, but we got more footage than what we had prior. So of course, I had to come on here and show you guys what we have. Check out some of these clips.
The fact that people keep saying I'm crazy, hell, the situations I had to deal with and survive are crazy.
Kimberly Thompson says she is tormented from being put under manic sexual spells by Beyonce.
We're talking about other situations where changing into animals and jumping into other bodies and all kinds of really crazy stuff.
You hear the part when she said changing into animals? Before we go to the next clip, I just want to say this real quick, and then we're going to play all the clips. I told you guys before that I had a friend who dealt with a witch, right? And this witch got my friend a cat, okay? And then slowly but surely, he started realizing that the cat was strange, okay? And that she was seeing through the cat. I know. I know. There was some kind of spell or some kind of something put on the cat where she was looking through the cat. I know. Too much. Let's go and play the clips.
I would be remiss, you were a little bit in the news recently. I don't know if you saw, but what, could you just explain to me what prompted that and why you believe this sort of negative energy was coming from Beyonce, and just talk about that a little bit so we can understand that.
Well, I definitely did that to definitely be so clear to cut the cord that I don't want to have anything to do with this person at all. I don't want to work with them. I'm even embarrassed that I have worked with them because it's literally shattered everything that I've tried to build after doing that work in my life. So if I have always said when I was a kid, I never would want to regret anything, but this I regret. I regret that we ever worked together because it's turned my life completely upside down. She's not been able to let me go. She's not been able to let me progress into a mature woman. And but everybody knows, it's interesting that the public doesn't know all these things, but the people that are associated in the higher powers, to say more or less, do.
This is supposed to sound outrageous. It's supposed to be unbelievable. But in the world we live in, with the things we've seen, with what we know, it's just another Tuesday. Yeah, You work for them, they got you. They don't make you sign NDAs because they don't want you to talk about the birthmark on their butt. That is not what this is about. No. They make you sign those NDAs because you're about to see something, about to witness some things, and be part of some stuff, whether you want to or not. When people work for these celebrities, they are not right anymore. They stop talking. They shy away from society. They break down. And it's a reason for that. So, yes, it's an opportunity of a lifetime to be their makeup artist, to be their driver, their security, but you better be ready because there's a whole lot that's going to come with that. Anyway, we got another episode down. I'm going to always say thank you to everyone who's watching, leaving comments, engaging. I love it. Until the next time, I am the theundj. This is Confessing Lies or Telling Stories. Keep your eyes open, keep your mind sharp, and sometimes keep your opinions to yourself, because that might be the safest thing out here. Silent knowledge, unknown knowledge, things that you know that other people don't know you know. That is the most dangerous knowledge out there. So know it, keep quiet, and find a way to apply it to the people around you. Trying to tell them is not going to work. You kind of got to spread it around and make the environment better for them, and maybe they'll wake up on their own. But in the meantime, thank you. I'm out.